Hello everyone, welcome to another Hallyu Season review. Today I'm reviewing Glyphics. This is a new game coming out from Eric Olsen. You may recognize that name from the very popular Flip 7, which made a lot of waves over the last year, and for good reason. A very simple, fun game. Well, this is another simple, fun family game, group game that I think everyone's going to really enjoy. This is published by TheOpGames. I'd like to thank them for sending a copy for review. Well, first of all, the packaging here just looks great. I love the use of the little pieces that you'll see within the box. They recreated those here on the box here, and just gives it a really inviting, really cool look. Obviously draws everyone's attention to the name here. And I really actually enjoy the tag here, the game where imagination takes shape, because you're gonna need definitely a good imagination to be able to work with these pieces to come up with these different kind of prompts here. So again, fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and lead with one of my issues, not issues with the game exactly, but the packaging. I'm not a huge fan. Again, this is fun. They'll provide the little window so that you can see in here and see the pieces. I get that, but there's an insert in here that is not my favorite, which we'll talk about. But the game itself, I really enjoy the back of the box here. I think explains the game really well. And really the game is you have a prompt and you use all these different pieces to try to get people to correctly guess what you're doing. And again, some of the harder ones, the phrases here are going to be worth more points. But you're basically going to be working through your prompts on your card and trying to get people to guess that. Using these different shapes, you can move them around. And so very, very fun. Again, let's talk about the quality of the components. The box is fantastic. Other than you can see the plastic here on the inside, creating that 3D effect as these rise up. I mean, really cool packaging there. I don't like the windows here in the bottom. And let's talk about that. But the rule book, let's take a look at the rule book before we dive into the other components. Again, this is a very, very simple game. And so it's got some great rules here. Again, there's some guidelines, some do's and don'ts. There's also some kind of variants that you can play with. Here, again, just noting this green on the orange, kind of weird. Like, it does weird things for my eyes. I don't know about you, but kind of a weird choice. I would have gone with something else. But I'm nitpicky. The game here itself, really great. Got a QR code for the watch it played. But again, very, very straightforward. So the rule book is great. Let's talk about the cards. We have a bunch of different cards here. I think there's 150 total, it says on the box. There are a few which they call easy peasy ones, which basically, if we compare the two, you can see that these have 5 nouns and 1 verb, and this has 4 nouns, 1 verb, and 1 phrase. Now, when you're playing the game, when you get points, right? If you get someone to guess what you're doing, you get a point, and the person who correctly guessed it first gets a point. With the phrases, again, they're going to get 2. Each person's going to get 2 points for those. So why would you do these? Well, it's just because you have more options, right? There are easier words here that are a little bit more simple compared to maybe some of these other prompts here, right? So I really appreciate that. So you kind of have some different ones here, and it could help balance things a little bit in like a family game, or again, just with like the kids easily doing these. They're going to be much more recognizable to them and maybe easier to do with the shapes. So that's great. Card quality is good. I mean, they're not like super fancy. Like it doesn't have the deluxe linen finish on it, but you know what? Still really, you know, good cards. And again, the graphic design is great. I like the very easily can tell the difference between the easy peasy ones and the others. So you can separate those out and everyone draw a card and you get right to it, right? We'll maybe do some examples here with the pieces. So in here, we pull out the pieces. The pieces are great. They're a fun color. The insert. So this is my issue with the insert. So mine broke, and I really think it's, you know, again, if they would have just had another piece of plastic that would go down, you know, you have this here. If they had another piece right here, it would make it strong enough, but because of that span, I think you're gonna possibly have some issues with this insert breaking. So I had a bunch of little plastic pieces that I was dealing with. Now, that being said, you could just take out the insert. However, now I have this big hole. So what I'm gonna end up doing with this game, just so you're all aware, and if you, again, it's a fantastic game. We'll show you some prompts and get into it, play around with it a little bit. But again, probably what I will do with this game is probably end up trying to cut this, like a piece of plastic from this insert and tape it to the inside here and just ditch the insert and have the cards in like a bag or something else moving forward, right? So again, they could have strengthened this up a little bit just with some more plastic, another plastic layer that would come down right here would have reinforced this. I don't think they would have had an issue, but, and again, I could be wrong. Maybe they won't happen to that many, but yeah, kind of an issue just with the insert. But I'll engineer some a permanent window there, and we'll lose the insert. So you have 40 different pieces here in this bag. Everything did fit well in this section, which was great. And so we pull this out here, and all sorts of fun pieces. So obviously we have different shapes. There's ovals, rectangle, triangle, square, right? So we have some big shapes. There's different sizes of things, and there's some duplicate sizes of stuff. All right, we have we have some arrows, which are very helpful. Maybe just one arrow, I can't remember. Yeah, I think we got one arrow, which really helps and kind of point to stuff. The people here, we have two big people and one little person, all right? And, but yeah, so you have all these different shapes and pieces. And with these varying lengths, we kind of have some squiggles here, some circles, some little guys. All right. So with that, there's really a lot of different things you can do. I like this one. This is kind of the no, not this, not this. Don't smoke, those sort of things, right? I tried to get my kids, first time we played this, I went with the phrase, right? I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get this. I was fairly certain they didn't know the phrase, but I thought I would try. And the phrase was close but no cigar. And so I had like we're getting close. Like I did the arrow, you know, I'm pointing with the arrow close. And I was like, not that, but close. And then I went with like the cigar, right? Some smoke coming off of it. No cigar. And they were like, no smoking. And I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't know. I mean, I don't even know what a cigar is. And so it was a fail. But so we have all sorts of great little pieces here. Obviously, I can't even like fit them all on screen in a nice way, but There's also this little stand included, so you can kind of do some 3D ones. You can kind of get them to stand up, you know, squeeze it in there, have someone stand up. So you can do like Halo. So you can do things like this, right? Where, you know, if it was flat, you trying to do the Halo, you'd kind of have to hold that, but you can actually do this and then hold it over. So I really like a very simple aspect to this. Just this little stand thing that can kind of help. You can do doors, different things like that. Again, you can do flat here on the table as well. And just really fun. So again, we'll just draw one randomly. I didn't pick these up before, and we'll just look at this first one. So Leaning Tower of Pisa. So that one's fun. You could probably just do, get like a ground here. I'm just kind of talking through how I would do this. And then probably something like this. I mean, pretty recognizable. Maybe I would keep these in here. It kind of gives it a nice look. I don't know, maybe not. But we have a building. I don't know. And you can see, again, you can move these around. You can be like, no, not straight. Again, you don't use words like I'm talking out loud now, but you can do like this. You can even have like a person up here taking a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So again, little things like that. Ice cube, oh, that would be an interesting one. Man, like a cup or something. Like a, oh, that's too big. Like a, need a cup. Look, this is a cup, right? Oh, look at these. Perfect. Perfect. Look at the ice cube. It'd be like this. It's like a little cup. Boop. Boop. Right? Pop them in there. Oh, that's perfect. Right? So just use your imagination with all these different shapes. Really, really fun. So I really enjoy this one. Again, they have a lot of prompt cards here, and I appreciate that they kind of have some easier cards set aside as well that you can dive into. So with, you know, a lot of these games, as far as the prompt cards go, I think the graphics are great, and but it's just like, oh, I just want more, right? So that's kind of always the thing. Like, this is great. This is a ton of prompts, and it's really great, but I kind of hate to see the backs of the cards blank in these types of games. I'm just like, oh, just do the other side. Do the exact same thing, double your fun, right? And that's what I, you know, kind of always hope with these games, that they utilize the backs of the cards to just give you twice as much content. But really great. The prompts in here are very fun. Obviously, I have not gone through each and every one of these yet. But looking through, again, there's just some really great fun prompts here that I think you're all going to really enjoy. Now, this actually very, very reminiscent of a game that I really enjoyed as well called Imagine. This came out from Gamewright a while ago. Similar concept, except for cards. You have cards with certain images on them, which are a little less flexible, right? But similar concept, you're trying to get these prompts here, and you can move the cards around and different things like that. But again, you can't split them off, right? So like in this one, I could recreate something like this with these different pieces that are in here, and grab those and try to make something fairly similar. So again, very, very fun. I like this. I still really like Imagine too, but I do like the flexibility that the little pieces have. I'm gonna just show you the cards here. So again, there's a lot of these, and the other part of the Imagine game with these cards was the fact that, yeah, they're really cool and they have these images. You can overlap them, which was another element which is cool of the game. But there are quite a bit of these, but again, they're more restrictive, right, or more specific. but still really, really fun. But this is a table hog. Like these pieces you kind of have out here, but if you need to spread out all of these pieces, all the cards, so that you can see all of them, it really does take up a lot of space. So that was kind of a downside of that one, where this one, a little bit easier there, a little more flexible for that. Both great games though, and so I was very excited to see Glyphics, and I believe Eric, this may have been one of his first ones that he kind of came up with, but this one coming out published by TheOpGames, they did a great job with it. So if you have any comments, questions, please let me know in the chat. I'd be happy to answer any of those questions for you. Again, we're coming up to the holidays, and I think this would be a great family game, a great game for parties, gatherings like that. Lots of fun. I mean, you think about Pictionary or charades or these different things that, yeah, they really do rely somewhat on the person's skill to be able to do these things. Whereas this game, it really does come down to your imagination. You have a very set, number of pieces and shapes and things to work with, and it's how can you put these all together, not how well can you draw or how well can you act something out. I mean, you can move things around here, but it really comes down to your imagination, and I really like that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is Glyphics, and that is how Lou sees it.